friends, and welcome to July. Welcome to the Crowded Table. And if you're new around these parts, this is a new thing for me too. This is a new thing for everyone, I think, because this is the first month that I am wanting to try something really new. If you've been around for the journey, we started on Patreon as just a way of supporting A Tiny Revolution, the podcast that I'm having trouble putting out because I think I was facing some pretty serious burnout um, during the month of June. And rather than just like talking about being burnt out, I just decided to step back and care for myself, um, especially with how the world has been in the past couple of weeks with the Roe versus Wade decision, Christian nationalism being so blatant. I like to think that I'm not somebody who's like, my vibrations are so high, I don't get affected by this shit, but I do in a big way. And I really need to admit that. I need to admit that I've got to figure out ways to make my work easier because I still live in capitalism and I still need to do something that makes me feel good. And so I kept thinking, what's something that makes me feel good? And it's having spiritual conversations with people, all kinds of people, not just people who are, theologians, and not just people who have got theology degrees, but like people who are having spiritual experiences, aka people like us here at the Crowded Table. And then I kept imagining further, like, well, what do I need right now? What would be helpful for me right now to engage with? And I'm like, you know what? If I had a group of people who were engaging the same kind of conversations, even online, even just once a week, even just trying something to do something together, even that would feel better. Even that would feel good. And so I decided, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to start creating these videos and then creating some weekly practices that I can do together with the community, and we can check in every single week to see how it's going. It's like, okay, well then let's really like codify this. Let's really like make a purpose statement, if you will, which is like seems maybe silly, but I think it really encapsulates a better thing than just like, oh, we're an online spiritual social club. But this is the purpose I wrote, and you can tell me what you think about it. At the Crowded Table, we bring together folks on their spiritual journey to explore new ideas about life and spirituality, cultivate practices that bring peace, and experience joy along the way so that we can heal from the past, learn to love the now, and shape the future for good. And I was like, oh, that might hit the joy. That might just hit it on the head for me. I'm like, and I was like, and within it, I was like, okay, so we've got explore, cultivate, experience. Explore new ideas through. I really want to try to get on this heretics Bible study idea, where we study different kinds of texts or just like spiritual stuff of all things. Maybe we'll call it something different, but I like calling it a heretics Bible study. And like we might not even study the Bible. um, I wanted to also engage with these new ideas through engaging them directly with people in the community who are sending in your money either monthly or annually to help like support this kind of work. I want to be able to do something that's like for us in this community that would be a little bit more regular. So this might seem silly, maybe, but I want to create a podcast called Kevin on Earth. It's okay. I'm kind of pulling on the same strings as some of my other spiritual coach people that I follow. Like one's just called Dear Gabby. And I'm like, oh, because it's her answering mail, answering questions. And I'm like, oh. And then someone said, it was just like jokingly, it was like, it's like Heaven on Earth, Kevin on Earth, LOL. But I was like, that's a pretty good branding. I'm not going to lie. And so I'm going to run with it, I think. I don't really have the shape of it quite yet, but we're going to be putting it together through July. And I want it to be live conversations with you, people in my community, where we talk about where are you spiritually stuck? What's the idea that you're holding on to? How can we shift you into something better in just a single conversation, maybe, hopefully, and just explore spiritual questions together. Because maybe it's not even like you need to get through something. Maybe it's just you have something that you want to discuss, or like you're still dealing with a certain kind of thought around hell or spiritual practice or forgiveness or whatever it is. Like I want to have those things with you. So we've got the heretic, exploring those ideas, together, but then also through the weekly practice, Because this month has a theme, and I'm going to get into that in a minute. So we're going to get through the announcements, and then I'm going to get into the theme. Um, I want to, the way that I've been doing it, like trying to cultivate these things is posting guided meditations and then also running the cohort. But I'm hoping that we can cultivate this together in community, even if it's asynchronous, where I'm going to be posting different kinds of practices and meditation ideas at the top of the week. And then later we'll have a check-in, both like on Discord and over here on the network, just so we can just like, ask for the support that we need or celebrate the wins that we have, both. And that's what I'm really into. And then the experience part is like, I want to create real life opportunities for connection. Online hangouts are fine. I'm not going to lie. I don't love them as much anymore. Like at least like in big masses, it's too much. But I love real life events. And even though the world is fucked and crazy right now, I still want to be with you, like my people, So those are the kind of like new things that we're going to try out. So each week, this is my plan. At the top of the week, and I'm going to like pre-record everything hopefully today, so that each week there is a video exploring a new idea within the spiritual realm that we're trying to get into. So the July theme, I was trying to figure out. My hand's cramping up over here, so I gotta. Also, I don't have my my stand, and so I'm having to hold my mic like this today. The theme this month I am thinking of is experience. Just one big word, experience. What is your experience? Because too often in this life we are told that our experience is unimportant, is wrong, that we didn't remember things the way that we remembered them, that we were just butthurt over it. And I want to back up all those stories. I want to back up just and say, what is your experience of anything? God, what is your understanding of the divine now? What kinds of ideas have been helpful for you along the way? What's your experience of love? What's your experience of spirit? What's your experience of pulling apart your faith? I don't, even though like we're to a point in our lives where we are beginning to see the power of our own experiences, it's almost just like we still don't trust it. And it's like, I think it's because we've been trained for so long that we should just have faith. We should have faith that's going to work out. And then we feel bad for not having faith about it. I'm just like, the thing is, you don't need faith. You need experience, and what I would say is like, I don't put faith in anything but my own breath. Hope that comes back. And even then, the Buddhists say that when you die, your out breath is just longer than your in breath. So it's like my breath still never fails me. You know what I'm saying? But I think our experience is something we need to start evaluating on all levels, and like really saying like, what am I doing? I need to evaluate what in my experience is moving me towards good, what is, and what's not. We're conditioned to feel bad about needing to slow down, about not being able to do it. But, what if we just start with the experience? What if we believed our experiences? What if we believed what our bodies have been telling us the entire time? But that's like where the ego wants us to get caught. Why didn't I believe myself sooner? Why didn't I see it sooner? And we fall into regret and self-debasement. All of our training around shame kicks in, and we keep doing the same things that don't help us. We just spin out. Rather than recognizing that maybe it was the way that we were treated. Maybe it was the way that we were made to conform and behave. Maybe that was the actual sin we were dealing with. The actual separation from God is the forced separation from ourself. And we've been told that to feel good is to be separate. It's to give into the flesh. But I question that. I'm like, why? What else could we be? I am somebody who I believe that we are more than a body. Or I'll say this: I believe I am more than just this body. But for whatever fucking reason, I'm here in this body, so it must be important. And even if it isn't important, it is beautiful, and it's good, and it's a part of all this other shit. And so how else could I experience joy except through the flesh? Except through my body. How could I even know God except through my body? How could I know anything? So I've just got to say, like, why don't we, why does it feel so hard to believe that sometimes? You know, what happens though, like when our bodies, which are traumatized, what happens when our experiences are not so good? And it feels hard to sit with the overwhelming feelings that come up. You know, we think the training is shut it down. I don't want to feel this. I can't feel this right now. I got to keep working. Got to keep my head down. Got to keep going. And that is capitalism, bitch. That is the I'm only worth what I can produce. I'm only worth what I can give to other people. But it's my promise to you, beloved. It's my promise to you that if you give yourself a little bit of time every day, your life can dramatically improve because you'll be in touch with an inner peace and an inner wisdom that will lead you to more freedom. In fact, I think now we have to prioritize feeling good if we want to sustain ourselves through what's coming. I mean, I don't know what's coming. There's so much things that could be happening, but I'm not worried about what time the bridegroom going to show up because I've got the oil in my lamp. If you know the reference, you know the reference. But I'm ready. And I'm ready because I take the time to make myself ready. I practice peace so that I have extra saved up. And you can do this too. It's very, very simple. I'm going to invite you starting this coming Monday, every day, 5 minutes. I think you can do it. And at the top of every single week, I'm going to be introducing these things. So the entire theme of this month is you don't need faith, you need experience. I want you to have an experience of peace. And when I say peace, I mean an experience of God. I mean of inner hearing, of inner wisdom. And so every single day this week, I want you to tap in, go into the guided meditation library, pull one, 8-minute one, or just set a timer, find something, but just do it. And I'm also going to have a guided meditation that you can follow every day if you want to at the top of the week. But yeah, I'm really, really glad you're here. So my questions for you, and I would love for you to answer in the comments below, what has your experience of God been so far? And I want to know what it was. I want to know when was like maybe where was the transformation point? And then I want to know what's your understanding of God, the divine, now. Okay? Answer in the comments. I'm really excited about this conversation. And I'll see you on Monday for our first week of practice. The theme for this week is wander. What are we wandering through when we get kicked out of these places? What's our experience of wandering our desert places? So get into it. Other practical thing, the podcast is going to be back as well next week. I've got 4 episodes of just folks I've interviewed, and then we are going to be moving into a new theme that I don't know, maybe it's going to be a 5-week series, maybe a 10-week episode series, I don't know. But I think we're just going to call it What the Fuck America? Probably now through the midterms, I think. That sounds about right. So, hope you're ready to get tuned in. I love you. See you around. Also, if this is helpful for you, feel free to invite a friend. There's also there's perks for referring people. So think about it. All right. I love you. Take it easy.